Okay. We're moving into the office of the producer, Chris Brinker. There he is right there.
Cheers.
What does tell the kids what a producer does?
A little bit of babysitting, a little bit of counseling, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I first met Chris on Troy Duffy's Boondock Saints. He was the producer and I liked him immediately. He really knew how to make work fun and he protected everyone. Then we kept in touch and years later he asked me to do Bad Country, which was his feature directing debut. One of the reasons I did the project was he was so passionate about it. We had a good time making it. We had lots of challenges. Sometimes we didn't always have what we needed to make the film, but he was incredible the way he took the challenges and approached them with a good heart and a good spirit. He was generous. He was always fun to be around, and I only feel bad that he couldn't have been with us longer. So, celebrate him.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composed in hallelujah.
Well, the thing about Chris and filmmaking, it was a pure love affair. Seriously, the guy, I mean, we could squeeze in movies. It's like one of those things, like, it was such a fun hobby. We'd watch them all night long till the morning, till the sun came up. We'd watch them, skipping school.
And I used to sit home and watch movies and go, fuck, I want to be a part of that.
I had the privilege of getting to know CB when he was still in college. In fact, he was just finishing up in San Diego, and he started as an intern for me as I was a young aspiring producer, and he was a young aspiring student to become a producer.
I'd met Chris through a mutual friend, and he was a film producer and I was a budding producer actor, and I said, well, I got the $7,000 from this car accident, so let's make a movie. And we both learned, and we grew up together in the business. We worked on the Boondock Saints films and Lonely Street and Borough of Kings. And he had that kind of love and passion for filmmaking.
I still remember the day when Chris called me about reading the script that he read, that he was so excited about that I had to put everything down. I had to cancel my lunch for that particular day, and he had to come over and bring me this script. That script was called The Boondock Saints, and he said, Lloyd, this is going to be the film that's going to put us all on the map. This is the film that we are going to produce together.
I was working at a studio. I went over to a bar. Troy was bartender behind the bar, and it was like, hey, what are you doing? He says, I'm writing a script and playing music. I said, you're writing a script? Tell me about it. Boondock Saints was everywhere. It was in USA Today. It was in the Washington Post. It was in the New York Times, Hollywood Reporter. Everybody knew about this project, and there was tremendous hype around it. Agents, lawyers, producers, studio executives, actors wanting to be in this next cool movie.
Troy, your script is so unbelievable.
The deal with Miramax started to go south almost immediately.
When you get tossed out of Miramax, it's almost worse than starting off at zero. All doors shut in your face.
It was like, okay, we got to roll up our sleeves now and make this movie. Boondock Saints became a huge success. It hit the top 10 in DVD consumer sales in the United States.
Okay, we're sitting in the alley. We're with the toilet scene here. Down here to the left is where Chekhov took the toilet on the head.
That's the fire escape when Connor jumped off with the toilet. And this garage door has been placed in, but as you can see, we still got the thing where Defoe went all the way down there and saw the bullet hole.
The movie, as you know, came out wonderfully well. But it really came because he galvanized the forces that came together to make the film. There was a 10-year span between the release of the first movie and the making of the second movie. That's dedication, that's passion, that persistence is what carried the day for Chris. It carried the day for all of us who were involved with him.
You ready for this shit, my dear brother? Let's do some gratuitous violence.
Shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand, that thy feet may swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow a river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. In nomine Patri Filii,
Vaffanculo.
Spiritus Sancti.
CB, he was a really good guy. He was honest, and he was your friend, and I just remember him all the time on Boondock Saints, how he would be so frazzled, and if there was any little problem at all, he'd be like, "Who's got your bag? Who's got your bag? I got your bag." He was just a cool guy. I really liked him a lot. He'd stop by my apartment in New York a few times, and we chatted, and we talked a lot on the phone. And I remember when he was directing his film, he just finished directing. He was really excited about it, and talked a lot about it. And, yeah, we were all really proud of him. And he'll be missed.
And I got an opportunity to meet CB about 16 years ago. And I got a lot of great, wonderful memories about the guy. And I think the best way to illustrate that is I can tell you that CB was the first guy in the Hollywood industry that I made a non-professional phone call to. Of all the people you do movies with and you get 15 phone numbers and yeah, we're gonna go to lunch when we get back to LA, he's the first person that I ever called just to go to lunch with, because he's a really, really solid individual, and he's going to be sorely missed. God bless, guys.
What I like best about CB was his sense of humor and his leadership and passion, most of all passion. I remember a month after we shot the first Boondock Saints movie, we were out for drinks one night, and he's like, "This movie's got to be huge." And as he's talking to me, his eyeglasses that were being held together by a paper clip, the glass piece had fallen into his screwdriver, and I was like, "You're fella." He goes, "I don't care. This movie's gonna be huge." I miss you, man. I love you.
Hi, I'm Julie. I worked with CB on Boondock Saints too. CB wasn't just about the work. He was about the people. I remember he threw a party at the beginning of production so I could meet everyone, the cast, the crew. And when I arrived at the party, he took me around the room and he introduced me to each and every person in that room, and he told me a funny story about them, including the names of their children and their spouses, and it was really fun. And that just showed to me that CB wasn't just about making movies. He was about the people who make movies.
And I had the pleasure to work alongside him for 3 months on All Saints' Day. The day he signed Peter Fonda, he was so excited he was jumping around like a kid. He was determined to get a star, and he did.
I got to know CB very well and was always impressed by his drive, ambition, and innate smarts. He never pretended to know more than he did and was always open to learning. When CB told me he wanted to try directing, I couldn't think of anyone else I'd rather help than him. He was very proud of Whiskey Bay, and I was and am very proud of him. He was a great friend, a lovely person, and a wonderful partner.
In a business full of selfish, egotistical, ambition-laden, self-serving sons of bitches, Chris Brinker was the exception. He was a meteor, a comet streaking across the night sky, and we don't get to see those often.
Back in February of 2012, I found out that my uncle and my dad were working on a new project. So I asked him if I could read the script, which was then entitled Whiskey Bay by Johnny Hirschbein. After reading the script, I sat down with my uncle, and I told him that I would probably be able to write a song for this movie, and he said, well, if you think you can do it, then go ahead and try. So I did, and he definitely inspired me to write this song. My uncle believed in me to the very end. He said whatever I put my mind to, I could do. And I owe my talent to God, but I owe my inspiration to my uncle.
As a storyteller, Chris had this energy and this tenacity and this ability to dissect a story and to look at it and to look at the macro of it and the micro of it and reshape it.
He could tell you why something on page 2, a sentence, would pay off on page 85, and he could just see it.
Chris's greatest gift was his ability to relate to people. No matter what problem would come along, Chris had the ability to not only solve it, but to get the people on board to finding a solution. His greatest talent was bringing people together and getting them to agree, even through the hardest points.
You know, I would watch him on set. There was times where he'd be sitting in the director's chair, and there'd be something going on set, and he would leap up to go handle a situation as a producer would. And you'd see something going on inside him, and he'd have to sit back down and just stay quiet and hope that his producers would do their job, you know? Because he was capable of doing everything.
The passion that everyone has brought to this table, the 100 and 120 people that are involved in this film, everybody is here for, in my opinion, the right reasons.
Chris would call me from Louisiana while I was still in Los Angeles at 5 a.m. his time. And, you know, I'm not really awake at 5 a.m.
We've had him on set every day because he deserves it, and he's a real partner in this filmmaking sort of endeavor, but that's not usual.
He's calling me speaking at 95,000 miles an hour, you know, consolidate these scenes, move this in here, cut this out, and I'm just half awake, you know. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the script is still in English.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay, good deal?
Good.
Seemed to be somebody who lived his life passionately and loved movies and was the kind of guy that always had your back. His business is a tough business, and anything in life worth having is worth fighting for, because nothing worth having comes easy. And Chris Brinker was one of those friends that always had your back, come hell or high water. He knew the challenges, he knew the difficulties, he knew all the things that you had to go up against. And those things that he didn't know that you were up against. Together, you guys would address together. He could get through anything, and he made you feel like that, and you did. And for that, I miss him incredibly. It's very proud to have this beautiful tribute for Chris and lovers of film and students that might get a chance to have this scholarship, because now you too will have the help of CB to achieve your dreams. I'm vicariously very proud to be a part of it and do something good with this. Make us all proud. Thank you. Miss you, CB.
And I don't know what to do. I can't make it without you, but I can